Hey everyone, welcome to your left-right split sequence. Make sure that you're standing next to some available wall space before we get started. Let's jump right in. So first I want you to do some plie and releves. So plie, bend your knees, releves, straighten, and come up onto your tippy toes, right? So we're gonna do this about 5 times. Inhale on the up, exhale down. When you're done, I want you to fold forward and bend and straighten your legs 5 times. Inhale when you straighten your legs. Exhale, bend. Next, we're just going to add on to this move by adding a releve in the straight position. So we're going to bend our knees, and then we're going to releve and straighten our legs. Do this for 5 times, and remember, your ankles should be touching, or if anything, you should be forcing your ankles inwards. You never want your ankles splaying outwards. Do this for 5 times. Inhale up and exhale down. Next, we are going to work on our forced arch, and then we're going to straighten our legs. So make sure, once again, your ankles are not splaying out, but they are touching in your forced arch position. Forced arch just means that your tiptoes, you're on the highest point that you can possibly get to on your tiptoes. Do this for 5 times. Inhale up, exhale down. Nice. Now, make your way to the wall. First, I want you to bend over in a forward fold and place your hands on the ground. I want you to inch your body closer to the wall so your back is almost flat against the wall. So your back should be pressed up against the wall, and you should be able to use that pressure to walk your legs in closer, and you should feel a stretch here. You can keep your legs bent for any amount of time. The goal here is to press your body into your legs, getting your back as straight as possible. So we're just going to break down the move for you a little bit right here. And now I want you to hold for 10 seconds, taking deep inhales and exhales. Whenever you're ready, meet me back on your mat for butterfly pose. So you're going to actually touch both of your heels together, and your knees should splay out to the sides, and relax your hips. I actually want your legs to be a little bit further out from your body. What I'm going to have you do is insert your forearms beneath your ankles and use your strength to pull yourself down. I want you to hold here for 10 breaths. I want you to inhale and release, and then I want you to exhale and go deeper. So pull yourself down on the exhale. Inhale, exhale, go deeper. Inhale up, exhale, go deeper. Inhale up, exhale, pull yourself down. Inhale up, exhale, go deeper. Inhale up, and now this time I want you to push your legs out a little bit, even further from your body. So you have enough space to actually sit both of your arms in between the space between your pelvis and your feet. Now we're going to repeat the same motion, just coming up and down. So on the inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up. Now, when you're finished with this, I want you to remain in this position, but this time, what I want you to do is grab onto your outside edges of your feet with one hand, and with the opposite hand, I want you to pick a knee and press that knee down into the ground. So using your own strength, you should feel a significant amount of tension in that hip, and I want you to make sure you're taking your deep breaths in and out. When you're finished pushing down both legs individually, now I want you to take both of your elbows and press them firmly into your knees and sides of your legs. Now hold here for about 5 breaths. Once you're finished with that hold, make your way into a seated position with both of your legs straight out in front of you. Then pick a leg to grab your foot, Place your foot directly above your knee and make sure the foot is flexed. Pun intended. What I want you to do now is grab onto your foot and now pull yourself down. So this should be slightly uncomfortable, especially if you have very tight hips, but you can actually use your strength to pull yourself down. And if you can, reach for the straight leg, the ankle, or the foot if it's available for you to grab with your free hand. Hold here for about 5 to 10 breaths. Now repeat this on the other side. Remember, make sure that the foot is not placed directly on your knee. It should be just above your kneecap. So there should be no pressure on your knee from your foot. And don't forget to flex both feet. I want you to hold here for about 5 to 10 breaths. Inhale, exhale, go deeper. Inhale, exhale, pull your body down. Challenge yourself to hold this position in the deepest place you can. So when you're finished here, I want you to meet me in your pigeon pose. So I'm going to set you up so you are correctly aligned. So first, start with your front leg bent and your knee and ankle should be aligned. This can change depending on how flexible your body is. I need to bring my knee a little bit above my ankle to get into this position. Everyone's different, but remember your hips need to be square. Place the toes of your back foot on the ground, and from here I want you to bend and straighten your knee while trying to keep your hips as close to the ground as possible. So you should feel this in your hip flexor and your hamstring. Do this 10 times. Inhale up, exhale down. Once you've completed this move, I want you to make sure that your knee is facing the downward position and you can relax your foot down onto the ground. Or you can walk your hands out in front of you and try to get your elbows down onto the ground. If you really want to challenge, maybe you can reach your hands all the way out and get your chest onto the ground in front of you. Just make sure to keep that front foot flexed. This protects your knee. And I want you to hold here in your lowest position for 5 to 10 breaths. When you're ready, come back up. And you're gonna meet me in the same position, but this time we're gonna do a twist. I want you to take your opposite arm and grab onto that opposite knee and twist your entire body. If you can, take your back arm and grab around the outside of your thigh of the straightened leg, and then I want you to hold here for 5 breaths. Remember to keep your front foot flexed throughout this entire position. And next we're going to do a quad stretch. So take your back leg and bend at the knee, and then bring your foot as close to your body as possible using the same arm as leg. Now hold here for 10 breaths. If you come up off the ground a little bit, that's okay, but just make sure that you're feeling this in your hip flexor and your hamstring. After you've held this position for 10 breaths, I want you to make your way onto your other side. Take a deep inhale, exhale. Remember to start with your front leg in a 90-degree angle, and then as you square your hips, allow your body to adjust. Said it before and I'll say it again. Keep your front foot flexed. It protects your knee. Now, same as last time, I'm going to have you actually fold the toes of your straight leg under so they are on the ground and you have mobility to bend and straighten your back knee. We're going to bend and straighten our knee 10 times. Inhale up, exhale down. Remember, you should feel this in your hip flexor. And once you're done with that, now you can walk your hands forward, place your elbows onto the ground, and fold forward. Hold in your deepest position for about 10 breaths, Take a deep breath in. Exhale, go deeper. When you're ready, make your way back up and you can begin your twist. Take that opposite hand, grab onto the opposite knee, and then take your back hand and place it onto your thigh of your back leg. Now you can use your strength to twist your body deep into this position. Take a deep breath in, out. We should hold this for about 5 to 10 breaths. Now release and move into your quad stretch. Remember to use the same arm as the leg that you are going to be stretching and pull it into the deepest point and hold here for 10 breaths. Take a deep inhale, exhale, go deeper. Hold that foot in. When you're ready, I want you to meet me in our next position, which is called an attitude in ballet terms. So that means that one of your legs is going to be bent at the knee and kind of wrapped around, facing the back. I want you to make sure to flex your back foot and your front foot. And then I want you to reach for that front foot with both hands if you can. If not, the modification is to just touch the ground in front of you. And from here, we're going to contract our spine and then we're going to arch it. So this is a dynamic stretch. You can do what I'm doing here, and as I come up, I point and flex my foot. If you have access, grab your foot and you can kind of use your hands to enhance the stretch. So I'm pulling and pushing down on the top of my foot. If you don't have access to your foot, you can just rest your hands on the ground in front of you and continue to follow along by pointing and flexing your foot. Do this for about 5 to 10 times. Inhale up, exhale down. And whenever you're ready, you can meet me on the other side. So remember that back knee is bent and the back foot is flexed. And the front foot is flexed as well, and you're going to grab onto that foot if you have access. If not, place your hands on the ground in front of you, and you're going to contract and reach. Remember, inhale up, exhale down. Do this for 5 to 10 times. And when you're finished with that, you can meet me in a lunge. Next, what I'm going to have you do is actually scoot your foot to the outside of your mat. So now you're in a runner's lunge. Make space for both of your hands to go on the inside of your leg. Drop down to your elbows if possible, to the toes of your back foot if you're not there already, and bend and straighten that back knee. So you're going to gently tap your knee onto the mat and then snap it up into the straight position. I do this about 8 to 10 times. And when you're finished, repeat this on the other side. From here, we're going to add on a little bit, starting with the side you're currently on. Raise your back knee off of the ground so you are in a full lunge. Plant your outside arm firmly to the ground, and with your inside arm, the one closest to the front leg, you're going to rotate your arm to the back between 5 to 10 times. Inhale up, exhale down. When you're finished, do the opposite side. So place your inside arm firmly on the inside of your front leg and do your arm rotations with the opposite arm. After this, switch sides and repeat this on the opposite side. Inhale, the arm comes up, exhale, down and around. Once you're finished, we're going to move into our next series, and I want to remind you to keep your hips square. Here we're going to do a dynamic stretch, and we're going to move from a lunge, and we're going to place the back knee on the ground while we're in our lunge, and then we're going to come back up into our pyramid pose and flex our front foot. Inhale up, contract, nose to knee. Exhale, release down. Press. Repeat this about 5 times, then switch to the other side. As you move into your next side, remember to keep your hips square. So we're going to start in a lunge with the knee on the ground, then we're going to lift up into our pyramid pose, and we're going to contract and flex that front foot. Inhale up. Exhale down. When you're finished here, I want you to leave your back knee on the ground. We're going to do a dynamic stretch using your half splits and your lunge. So you're going to move forward to back from half splits and back into your lunge. Do this about 5 times. When you're finished here, I want you to hold your lunge in the deepest position and make sure that your hips are square and you have knee to ankle alignment. Here for 10 deep breaths. After this hold, I want you to hold in your runner's lunge. Make sure that your hips are square and make sure that your front foot is flexed. If you have access, you can grab onto the foot and pull your body down so that your nose touches your knee. If not, just find a comfortable position here. Well, it actually won't be comfortable, but hold for 10 breaths and then switch to the other side. Deep breath in. Exhale. Then repeat this on the other side. Remember when you're finished to hold in the deepest position. Take 10 deep breaths and then move into your half splits and hold in that position for 10 breaths. Inhale, exhale, drop into your hold. When you're finished, I want you to meet me in a lunge position. Make sure that your hips are square. We're going to prepare for our split hold. So you might want to start with your stronger side because, it'll boost your confidence. And what I want you to do is actually widen your lunge so your front leg is at a 45-degree angle instead of a 90-degree angle. So you do not need to have knee to ankle alignment this time. This position should feel like you could drop into your split at any moment, but both legs remain off the ground and your legs are active. So every time your knee bends and straightens, it straightens and flexes. and then it bends and comes back to the starting position. After you've done this 8 times, I want you to meet me in your split. So here I say to hold it for up to 1 minute and 30 seconds if you can do that. If you're super new and you're a beginner, start with 30-second increments and then come out and rest until you get up to the 1 minute and 30 seconds. Whenever you're finished, repeat this on the other side. So remember to square the hips, and then this is dynamic, so both of the legs are mobile and off the ground, but you want to slide that front foot out just a little bit more so you're almost into your full split. And then every time the front leg straightens, you're going to flex that foot. Do this with me 8 times and then drop down into your split for your split holds. Now remember here, if you're new and this is like your first time doing the splits, feel free to start with 30-second increments for your holds. But if you really want to challenge yourself, go straight for that 1 minute and 30. Alright, so shake it out and give yourself a little bit of time. Maybe take 1 or 2 minutes here if you like. And then if you're up for a challenge, which I hope you are, flex at the wall. So going back to the first time that we approached the wall during the sequence, in the beginning of the sequence, we scooted our legs and our feet up as close as possible to our face while our back was pressed firmly against the wall. We're going to repeat that same motion, only this time we are going to lift either our left or right leg. I always recommend starting with your strong side, and we're going to hold. So the idea here is to actually force yourself into the splits, and you can see the timer has started. The idea here is to use the support of the wall and walking your foot in as close to your body as possible to kind of force your body into this downward position. So the secret ballerinas know is that stretching and flexibility is a combination of strength and lengthening at the same time. So an exercise like this is really, really good for building muscle memory. And now switch to the other side. take deep inhales and deep exhales. If your top leg is nowhere near the wall, it's okay. This is a combination of strength and flexibility that we're working here, so something like this might take a little bit of time to get. When you're done, I want you to flip over to the other side, and now we're actually going to do our splits hold facing the wall. So you're going to raise whichever side. I always choose my good side to do first. Whichever back leg you choose is going to go straight up against the wall. So try to make sure that your knee is facing down and get your hips as square as possible, and the heel of your bottom foot should be touching the wall. Whenever you're ready, switch to the other side. Don't forget to take deep breaths in and out. The deep breathing is your best friend when you're in pain.